So Vice News are headed towards bankruptcy. And in this video, I'm not going to go through all the finer details about what it means that they're bankrupt and who might potentially buy it because boring, and also it doesn't really matter. What matters is why it happened and also what it means for news media and information in a broader sense. So this one's actually bittersweet for me, guys, because I actually grew up, especially in my teenage years, idolizing Shane Smith, who was one of the founders of Vice. I just used to admire these guys so much and just think that they just have balls of steel doing these hard-hitting documentaries in the most dangerous places in the world and being at the coalface of historical events. I remember watching documentaries that they made about the cannibal warlords of Liberia and about UK's scariest debt collector, or when Shane Smith was there for the Libyan revolution, or when they did that documentary where they went to the mines in the Congo. Like, this was just incredible and timeless journalism. And I remember thinking to myself, I want to do that one day. I would love to present documentaries like that. And I actually dreamed of working for Vice. In fact, that was actually a very specific ambition of mine that I wanted to achieve. But then things started to change at Vice. They started to go woke, and we all know what happens when you go woke, guys. The people that were presenting these documentaries went from these worldly journalists with gigantic balls that were extremely relatable to dudes that wear those little stupid orange beanies that look like they're too small for your head, that look like they've just completed a degree in women's studies and have a part-time job as a barista. They started to lose their mojo and they started to lose the essence of what made them Vice. But even worse, they tried to still pretend to be some sort of moderate, avant-garde sort of news source, which clearly they were not anymore. They had now become a woke leftist mouthpiece. And one example of how this can be seen just clearly is in the debates that they were hosting, when they were having conservatives debating leftists, and they were editing it to make the conservatives look as bad as possible. I started seeing them do these cutting-edge interviews with Justin Trudeau and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as if they're actually serious people with serious things to say and their own thoughts. They went from making some of the best documentaries ever made to this day to then weird little woke documentaries about strange little sexual subcultures and fantasies and how right-wing extremism is on the rise. And the way I see it, and maybe I could be wrong, but Shane Smith seems to me like a man who is in a hostage situation. Maybe he was a raging woke leftist the whole time, but it's obvious now that the company is completely overrun by wokeness. It is infected by these ideas across the board, and that's why they're now going bankrupt. Because obviously wokeness ruins everything that it touches. But back to the point, from going from these fearless reporters doing incredible stories around the world to these strange little male feminist fetish journalists. And the perfect example of this can be seen through Matt Shea, who did a hit piece on Andrew Tate in the most disgustingly dishonest way you can imagine. And Matt Shea, the DNG,
he is a dork, a nerd, and a geek. DNG.
is a perfect example of a man that you could never trust and a man that I would certainly never hire. He was invited in good faith into the Tate's circle and then went and did a big hit piece on them. Just a piece of two-faced scumbag journalism at its finest. But oh boy, did that come back to bite him this week when Andrew Tate released a video of Matt Shea begging him to get an interview and then Tate making him come all the way to Romania with a box of chocolates just to stand out front of his gates for a few hours.
So, when works for you?
How soon can you get the chocolates?
As soon as you want.
I'm pretty hungry.
It was hilarious, guys, and I'll leave the link to that at the top of the comments. And to be honest, I think that hit piece that they did might have been one of the last nails in the coffin because Vice lost a massive amount of credibility with their core audience, who is young people. People that know that that documentary was edited in an extremely dishonest way. So what is the message here, guys? In my opinion, it's a positive one. Woke, pathetic BuzzFeed down the drain. CNN is on the brink. Fox News have just gotten rid of Tucker and signed their own death warrant. And now we're seeing Vice go bankrupt. All while alternative and non-mainstream media outlets are absolutely dominating. And this is because people are not stupid and they know deception when they see it. And it's not like the old days when the deception could be controlled because they had a monopoly on information. Now there's other more reliable sources of information to expose them for the raging liars and propagandists that they are. So guys, The truth is winning. People aren't standing for this crap anymore, and it's reaching a point now where the proof is in the pudding, and the companies are going out of business like it's going out of fashion. And the outlets that are more neutral and more accurate, or at the very least, clear about their agenda, are taking over. But guys, it's not all propaganda and bullshit. There are incredible and reliable news sources on the rise, and one of them is Ground News. This is by far my favorite source of information, and it's a company that I personally reached out to create a partnership with. So guys, Ground News is a website and an app that gathers all of the world's media in one place from 50,000 sources around the world so that you can compare coverage. They allow you to see the story behind the story using data-driven analysis that looks at things like political bias, reliability, and ownership of news outlets. And when you click on the stories, you'll be able to see on the right data on how the story is being covered by the media. They also have the article comparison feature, which allows you to see how this specific story is being reported on from left, center, and right. And then you can click the articles that you'd like to read. Guys, I love Ground News, and I have been using them for some time. It constantly keeps me up to date with what's happening in the world, and also allows me to not get caught in an algorithm echo chamber. And when you do sign up, you'll be supporting my content and helping me to continue doing what I do on this channel. So it's a win-win. So at only $8.33 per month for the Vantage package, which is the one that I use, you will be provided with insane value and clarity in these hard times to keep you armed and dangerous. So make sure you guys check out Ground News, keep yourselves armed and dangerous, and also support the channel. I'll leave that in the bio and pinned in the top of the comments, like I said, and also hit that link tree to find me on all platforms. If you guys want to watch another video, click right here. Until next time, I'm Jake. This is RattlesnakeTV, keeping you armed and dangerous.